What's up, you guys? My name is Jason. I'm the FLX e-bike specialist. I'm gonna show you guys how to change the back wheel on the Babymaker Pro. This is a really easy process. You're just gonna need 3 tools, a 19mm wrench and 2 Allen keys. These are hex head, 4mm and a 5mm can get the job done. You wanna get the bike to the side where you have the motor cable exposed. You simply, to begin, wanna just pull those apart. As soon as it's apart, the motor is free from the electronics. Then it's going to be just like changing a rear wheel on any bike. You're gonna start with the axle bolts. This is your 19mm. You're gonna go lefty-loosey. You also wanna loosen it opposite on this side. So you're just gonna get your wrench on there and give it nice and loose. Once everything is nice and loose, you'll grab your 4mm. You're gonna loosen the belt tensioner. There's a tensioner screw on either side. You have one here, and you have one just on the other side of the bike there. What you're gonna do is get that in there. Once both of them are nice and loose, you can simply slide the wheel forward. When the wheel is forward, you're gonna grab the belt at the front. You're gonna simply grab the belt here, give it a little bit of a pull, and pull the belt off so that it's nice and free and clear. Now there's nothing holding the wheel on with the exception of your brake caliper. This is gonna be a 5mm. You wanna focus on these bolts right here that hold the caliper onto the frame. You're gonna remove this one fully so that you can get the back wheel out. Once you have this completely drawn out, the top one you don't have to fully remove. Just loosen it so that it pulls the caliper up in this position. All you gotta do is slide the wheel back and it comes right out. Careful not to drop the wheel or the frame, and you're ready to do just like a standard tube change. Let the air out. If it's already out, you're gonna pull the tire, pull the tube, and you're ready to go. All right, guys, now when you're ready to reinstall the rear wheel, it's a very simple procedure. Before you put the wheel into the dropouts, you want to make sure that you get the belt on the outside of the rear freewheel. Then you're going to put the wheel into the dropouts, making sure that the washers are on the outside of the frame. And then everything will just slide right in. Don't tighten your axle bolts yet because you're going to do the belt tension before you tighten the axle bolts. Next step is to reinstall your brake caliper. Easy enough, you just put it back into position, lining the holes up from the caliper mount to the frame. Reinstall the bolt that holds it in. Again, this was a 5mm hex head. You just want to make sure that you get those nice and snug so that your brakes are tight. Next part that you're going to do is you're going to reinstall the belt. You're going to put the back on first, making sure that the teeth line up with the freewheel, the grooves in the freewheel. Hold that in the back, install the top part of the belt on the top of the chainring. Then, given a little tension, you just give it a pedal around, and everything is gonna line right back up for you. And there you go, your belt is back on. Now you just have to finish tightening everything up, starting with your belt tension. It's important that you make sure that the wheel is centered back here between the rear frame. You want equal space on either side of the tire. To get equal space and good belt tension, you're simply gonna keep a close eye on where the tire sits, and you're gonna tighten the belt tensioners until you have good tension and an even space between the wheel and the frame. Our tension feels good on the belt. Our spacing here seems good. At this point, you're gonna tighten your axle nuts. You're gonna replug the motor to the motor cable. There's an arrow on both sides. There's an arrow on this wire and there's an arrow on this wire. You match the arrows up when plugging it in, and then you know that everything matches properly. Make sure that the axle nuts are nice and tight, and you're ready to roll. Let us know if you guys have any issues.